It's the first major of the season, the PBA World Championship. For the next 3 nights, ESPN and ESPN2 will bring you complete coverage as 8 of the PBA Tour's best slug it out in a stepladder format for one of bowling's most coveted prizes. First up, Jason Belmonte, the two-handed wonder from Down Under, takes on the Big Nasty, former Player of the Year, Wes Malott.
Welcome to the South Point Hotel and Casino here in Las Vegas, the host venue for an unprecedented 3 days of live PBA coverage on the ESPN family of networks. Today, it's 2 matches as we build towards Sunday's final for the first major of the season, the PBA World Championship. Glad you're with us, Rob Stone, and the man who won this tournament in 1987, Randy Peterson, here with you. Wonderful setup leading towards next Saturday's live broadcast on ABC of the Tournament of Champions. But before we get to that major, we got to get through this one. And the PBA World Championship, Randy, really has become kind of the triathlon of bowling with a few extra little events thrown in front of these guys.
Yeah, it's like an Ironman competition when you look at the format. 60 games over 5 days on 5 different oil patterns against 250 of the world's greatest bowlers. Rob, in terms of versatility and endurance, this is the toughest tournament I can remember.
And now 3 days live on television. We'll have 2 matches for you today, which will weed the field out by 2. Belmonte taking on Malott, the winner, versus Michael Haugen Jr. Tomorrow, Mika Koivuniemi and Chris Barnes in action. And then Sunday, 3 matches, including your number 1 seed, waiting, Bill O'Neill, in search of his 2nd title this young season. Now, only twice in the 52-year history of the PBA has a title been won from the 7 or 8 seed spot. And Kimberly Pressler, that means there are long odds and a long road for Belmo and Malott.
That's right, Rob. They do have a long road ahead of them. And Jason, you qualified 115th on the Viper pattern coming into this. What adjustments have you made to be more successful today?
Oh, firstly, thank you for the reminder of the 115th position there. That's awesome. I'm going to be a little bit smarter today. Normally, I'm a very a stubborn bowler, but I'm going to open my mind up and let the lane tell me what to do and just get to the line and let it go.
Now, Wes, you placed 2nd at last year's World Championship. You still don't have a major under your belt, but how hungry for this championship are you?
Well, it's definitely the next thing that I'm checking off my list. What I'm going to try and do here is go back to the end of the 09 season with the King of Bowling and the dominance that I put on there, and because this is basically the exact same format. I've got just 2 more matches to go with them, and you got the best of the best who bowled really well here in November in this particular bowling center, so I've got a road ahead of me.
All right. Well, best of luck to both of you.
Thank you, Kimberly. Jason Belmonte in his two-handed style in pursuit of career title number 2. And the Big Nasty, Wes Malott, trying to earn his first title since 09. Match 1 when we return. The PBA World Championship is brought to you by Lumber Liquidators, hardwood flooring for less. By Go RVing. Visit GoRVing.com to watch a free video. Go affordably, Go RVing. By the makers of Bear Aspirin. Expect wonders. And by Sporiva Handy Hailer. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson, Kimberly Pressler welcoming you back. Getting set now for match 1 of the PBA World Championship. Time now for the introduction of our 2 bowlers.
The number 8 qualifier owns 1 PBA Tour title and a PBA Rookie of the Year award, representing Australia, Belmo, Jason Belmonte.
Jason's best finish at a major, 6th at last year's U.S. Open. Only 1 tour title on his resume for now. Great start for a guy who's had great issues on this Viper oil pattern. Now, the intro for your number 7 seed.
The number 7 player is a 6-time PBA Tour champion, former PBA Player of the Year. From Pflugerville, Texas, the Big Nasty, Wes Malott.
Big Nasty, the 2009 PBA Player of the Year, won 3 times that season.
Let's do this.
Hasn't won, though, since March 1st of 2009. Wide right of target.
2-4-10 split.
That's not how you do it.
Leaves the 2-4-10 and a tough early start, Randy, for Wes.
Yeah, he just looked like he fell off balance, lost it at the bottom of the swing, and completely missed the finger holes when he let go of it.
Trying to help me out already. Give you 7.
And Rob, I watched Wes in warm-ups, and he looked like he was struggling with his timing. He didn't look comfortable.
Almost gets the pickup.
Leave it there. Leave it there. Come on.
And what an early break that would have been for Malott.
Well, he catches the 2-pin just a little too skinny, throws it in front of the 10. The 10-pin wiggles, but doesn't go down.
So Malott starts with an open frame. Here he is in the second. That looks familiar.
Little early, guys. A little early. God dang it.
Well, that looked like a better shot, but same kind of result, only this time it's the 2-8-10. As you take a look at Wes's arsenal, he's going with a Nomad Pearl. He may want to look to go to something a little bit stronger because the last 2 shots, the 2-4-10 in the first, the 2-8-10 here, have both gone light. They never recovered down the lane.
And a miserable start for Malott. And that has to help Jason Belmonte's confidence on so many levels, because his confidence on this oil pattern, Randy, has to be at a bottom line all-time low. He readily admits to us, this is my worst oil pattern. In fact, he finished 115th at the Pepsi Viper Championship, did Belmonte. But it's back-to-back opening jacks for Belmo here.
And a completely different game plan that he came into this championship with, bowling on the Viper oil pattern, Rob. He's actually throwing a urethane bowling ball. He took some advice from Bill O'Neill. O'Neill kept telling me, you've got to move farther to the right and straighten everything up. And the only way a high-rev player can do that, like Jason Belmonte, is throw plastic or urethane. You see that grip? Digs those fingers almost like a conventional grip with his 2 fingers, no thumb, urethane bowling ball, nice and straight and fast.
3 in a row. There's his wife, Kimberly, in attendance. Jason, Kimberly, and their beautiful daughter, Aria Rose, made the long trip from Orange, New South Wales, Australia, to be here in Las Vegas. And he'll have family with him for the next couple weeks on the tour, which will be a great calming influence for him. Here is Wes Malott in the third after back-to-back open frames. So strike a lot, Malott. Finally gets all 10 to drop.
He's got to go really straight with the equipment he's using. If he gives up any part of the lane to the right, the ball is not strong enough to recover down the lane.
Take a look at how these 2 guys got here. Again, the top 8 through the World Series of Bowling, qualifying for the PBA World Championship. Belmo, a slow start, and then you see that spike as he crawled his way up to the 8th seed. Wes did not like that.
Guys, you got to wait till I let go of it. Come on.
Crowd a little over anxious, Rob, and cheering one of their favorite stars on. And last couple of times on the left lane, Wes has been clearly distracted. You see him pull right up out of that shot immediately. So he goes back-to-back open frames to start. His opponent's perfect through 3 frames, and right now Wes feels like he's in a gunfight, and all he brought was a knife.
Feels like everybody's against him. He's even got the crowd that seems to be affecting him, even though they're clearly supporting him as well. So Jason Belmonte, a lights-out start. Perfect through 3. Looking to grab a 4-bagger. Jason drops the first ham bone of the calendar year as we take a look at his arsenal.
He's going with the natural, a urethane bowling ball. If you wanted to go even straighter, you could go to the white Team Storm, which is plastic. But look at the difference between what he's using and what he can go to.
All right, through the face of that one.
Watch this right here. Jason Belmonte at release is just going to wrench on this shot. And that's what makes that ball jump a little bit in the front part of the lane and causes it to go high.
Leaving the 6-10. This is first spare shot of the day. No problems with that one, so Belmo remains clean. 4 strikes and now a spare.
So far, Rob, that game plan's looking pretty good. And again, the game plan, Jason Belmonte likes to overpower oil patterns. And he told us yesterday, he says, you know, I just can't do that on Viper.
He was telling me today that he is a stubborn bowler, but this Viper oil pattern is even more stubborn than he is. It will not yield to his style of play. Wes dialed in there. So that's his second strike. So he now has the same number of open frames as he does strikes.
And in talking with him yesterday, the message that I got loud and clear, Rob, was how hungry he is to win again. You know, he had the phenomenal season back when he was Player of the Year just a couple seasons ago. Last season did not win a title, did make shows, and he told us, he said, I'm hungry. I've rededicated myself. I've practiced. I'm working at it now. And, you know, Wes isn't a big practicer.
Gets the late kick on the 10. So some much needed momentum for the Big Nasty. Back-to-back jacks in the 5th and the 6th. But it's Belmo with the lead. And when we return, we'll tell you about Jason's new approach to taking the bite out of the Viper. Welcome you back to Las Vegas and our live coverage of the 2011 PBA World Championship. This day 1 of 3 consecutive days of broadcasts here on the ESPN Family Network of the PBA World Championship. Time now for the Lumber Liquidators Know the Wood with Randy.
As your number 1 seed, Bill O'Neill gets to choose the oil pattern that we will be using for the finals of this major championship. And he chose Viper. And with good reason. Who can forget what Bill did just a couple of months ago at the Pepsi Viper Championship, where he climbed the ladder, demolished the field, averaging over 240 en route to his 3rd title. Today, on this 37-foot oil pattern, look for the players to go straight early, but as the pattern breaks down, the players are going to be able to create multiple angles to get their bowling balls to the pocket.
And Randy, we're talking about the problems that Belmo had on this Viper. Is 115th. He finished at the Pepsi Viper Championship earlier this season, saying, you're talking about the angles and getting straighter. I need to straighten my angles down lane and make quicker changes. Try and trust himself a little bit more rather than being stubborn and bullheaded versus this Viper oil pattern. Very little need for changes in Belmo's game thus far.
Well, you know, we talk about all the power that he can create because he uses 2 hands and no thumb. But here's how he creates speed. I want you to just watch his footwork. You see that quick step right in the middle there. He creates a lot of speed with his feet, and that's how he creates ball speed. For those of you watching at home, if you want to throw the bowling ball faster, you got to get your body moving faster.
Slow, slow, and then a burst.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Back-to-back jacks. Strike number 6. Belmo in cruise control.
And that's how you answer the big nasty. When he finally catches a double, Belmonte comes right back on top of that and throws 2 strikes, 1 in the 6th and then in the 7th. The best Wes Malott can shoot right now, 238. Jason Belmonte right now at 238.
If you're in Wes's ear right now, what advice are you passing on to him?
Don't miss.
Sounds kind of
It's
obvious.
true.
I might have been able to pass that one on.
Don't miss.
Take a look at other finishers here at the PBA World Championship. Malott's effort leaves the 2-pin.
Oh, my God.
Michael Fagan finishing 13th. There's Tom Smallwood, who won this event last season in Wichita, finished 14th this year. And here's Malott's last effort.
And if you noticed, every shot that's missed, with the exception of the 4-pin, and even that shot, every shot that has not struck has been light. So 3 strikes and then 4 shots that were all light, 2 of them being splits in the 1st and 2nd frame. Some heavy hitters there. Pete Weber, Tommy Jones, 21st and 2nd. Ryan Schaefer, the Bulldog, at 24th.
So here's the nasty through 7 frames, Randy. 2 open frames, 2 spares, 3 strikes.
Oh, you never know.
Wes in a 51-pin hole, but things can turn quickly in this sport, particularly right here in the 8th, 9th, and 10th. Much needed strike.
Well, right now, Wes Malott can strike out and shoot 217. Belmonte's already in the 230, so Wes's mindset is simple. Strike out 8th, 9th, and 10th, see what happens, but he needs help from Jason Belmonte.
And again, this is the worst oil pattern for Jason Belmonte. He will openly admit that to you. But he has had massive success today on it.
Watch how fast the feet are. There's the first open, unless he can convert the 4.67. I've never seen it converted on television. And again, it's just amazing how quickly things can turn around. Now, with that being said, let's just give him 9 out here. He's still in the 220s. Remember, the best Wes Malott can shoot 217. No time to panic yet. Well, Rob, you brought up an interesting point just a couple of frames ago when you were talking about Belmonte, in that he has to pay attention and make adjustments a little bit sooner, a little bit more on the fly. Right now, the lanes may be going through transition. Now it's time for Jason Belmonte to make an adjustment the next time he's up on the right lane, which will be the 10th frame.
He admitted to me today, I've been too slow to change on this oil pattern. He admits he is a stubborn bowler, but this oil pattern has more stubbornness in it than does Belmo. We begin the 9th. Leaves the 10.
Again, all he has to do is fill frames 9th and 10th, meaning a mark. Spare or strike, 10th frame with good count, or excuse me, 9th and 10th with good count, he shuts out Wes Malott.
Covers the 10. ESPN, your NBA destination. Tonight, catch a pair of games. First at 8 Eastern. The Red Hot Mavs taking on Tim Duncan and the Spurs. Then at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, Portland taking on Steve Nash and the Suns. NBA Friday on ESPN. Both of those games also available online at ESPN3.com and on your phone. Wes in the 9th. Oh, so close to a 7-10. And that is all she wrote. And Belmo will move on from the 8 seed spot to take on 6 seed Michael Haugen Jr. And Wes Malott's troubles on TV continue.
He actually threw a really nice shot there, just didn't strike. And I have to question the ball choice that he decided to go with. I know that going straight early on in the Viper is the right way to go,
but I think that ball was just a little weak for him down lane.
Again, there's Jason Belmonte in the background. Will advance to take on 6th seed Michael Haugen Jr. Again, this day 1 of 3 consecutive days on the ESPN Family Networks. Malott with a strike. Too little, too late. Belmo with one more win will move on to our live coverage tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern. That's a new start time, 8:30 Eastern on ESPN2. Mika Koivuniemi and Chris Barnes
for next week.
will be in action as well. And he talks about next week. We'll be back here in Las Vegas next Saturday,
today.
live on ABC, the Tournament of Champions, and a huge purse for that tournament.
Oh.
Well, I like the fact that Wes admitted that he had to get refocused and rededicated. He's worked on the loop in the back of his swing. You know, he's got that little figure-8 move there, and sometimes when that ball gets too far behind him in the downswing, there's too much angle created, and that's when he starts missing wide right. But he's dedicated or rededicated himself. He's practicing and working at it again.
I expect to see that go that far. Come on, mate.
So, Jason, you move on. You admit you had problems with this Viper. Why the great success here thus far?
Look, like I said at the beginning, I just wanted to play a little bit smarter. Normally, I'm a lot more aggressive with a stronger ball, and today I've gone with the urethane ball and just kind of looked at trying to hit the pocket and let this thing do its job, and that's all I've really planned to do today.
Jason, last time on this right lane, you went through the nose. What adjustment do you make right here?
Got any tips for me? Help me out here.
How about 2 and 1 left?
You got it, boss. I'll try that one.
Jason Belmonte advances to face Michael Haugen Jr.
So Belmonte, knowing he has moved on and defeating Wes Malott, now has his eyes on Michael Haugen Jr.
Right now, if Jason's smart, he changes balls to shoot the 5-pin, throw a strike ball at that 5-pin. That urethane ball starting to look a little weak down lane. The oil pushes down the lane, back end starts to go away. Now it's time for maybe him to look at something else in terms of equipment.
Kimberly, his wife, beaming as hubby moves on and goes one step closer to winning the PBA World Championship, but he'll have to get through this guy first. Michael Haugen Jr., your 6th seed, on deck. The PBA World Championship is brought to you by 900 Global, committed to creating new possibilities in bowling through innovative motion. By Budweiser, great times are waiting. Grab some buds. By Lumber Liquidators, hardwood flooring for less. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. So Jason Belmonte takes one small step up the step ladder, and he moves on to match number 2 to take on Michael Haugen Jr. That one coming up. But first, over the course of the week, we've asked fans on PBA.com to submit questions for our More of What Matters to You fan question, brought to you by the makers of One A Day. And now, we send it down lane side. Kimberly with the question we selected for Jason Belmonte. Kimberly?
Jason, your question comes from Austin Pote of Boiling Springs, South Carolina, and he asks, since Oscar Palermo is quickly becoming a force to be reckoned with on the PBA Tour, is there any type of rivalry developing between the two of you, because he's also a very good two-handed bowler?
Yeah, Oscar and I have been bowling against each other around the world for the last 5 years. He's a good guy of mine, a good friend of mine, and the thing is, anyone that steps up on the approach, one-handed, two-handed, one-legged, three-armed person is going to be my rival. So, I wish him all the best when he bowls. I never wish any ill against anyone, but when they're bowling against me on TV, I don't want them to beat me. So, hope that answers your question.
Well, there you have it. Rob, back to you.
Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you, Jason, for joining us live. And there is a live look at your 6th seed, Michael Haugen Jr., the native of Carefree, Arizona. Finished 4th at the Viper Championship last year, trying to improve on that at the PBA World Championship today. See a live look at the championship trophy of the PBA World Championship. That will not be handed out until Sunday. You can see it live on ESPN 1 Eastern. Michael Haugen Jr. and Jason Belmonte trying to move on to Sunday's show. They got to get through this match, and then they have to get through 2 more tomorrow. There is Jason Belmonte trying to make the move all the way up from the number 8 seed spot. He was a 222-186 winner over Wes Malott. Now he has to move on and take on 6 seed Michael Haugen Jr. If you go back to the World Series of Bowling, Randy, a lot of guys had problems on that left lane. Jason is handling it pretty well thus far. Now the intro for our number 6 seed.
The number 6 player owns a pair of PBA Tour titles, including 1 major from Carefree, Arizona, Michael Haugen Jr.
I want to remind you, next Saturday, live on ABC, the finals of the Tournament of Champions, a tournament that this young man won in 2008. Ten-pin, somehow avoiding contact.
Be a downgraded ball.
Well, a very unusual style for somebody that goes as straight as Michael Haugen Jr. does. He's kind of got this last step where he kind of plants. You see there's 0 slide at the foul line. Typically, Rob, you see that with power players, not with guys that go straight. Normally with guys that throw the ball as straight as Michael Haugen, you see that slide and the ball kind of coming together with that slide foot. And it's a very unusual way, and I think probably the fact that he doesn't slide at all is attributed to the knee problems he's had. As you take a look at his arsenal using the strongest ball in Michael Haugen Jr.'s arsenal, the Bank Pearl.
Come on.
And right there you can see why he's using such an aggressive piece of equipment. To me, it looks like the oil's pushed down the lane. You see very little back-end reaction. Michael Haugen Jr., because he throws it straight, doesn't have the big rev rate, needs a lot of bowling ball to make it turn over down the lane.
So Haugen with back-to-back spares to open up his effort today. And he makes way for Jason Belmonte. Was a bit of a novelty item a few years ago when he bowled a few events on the PBA. Oh, here comes this wonderful 2-handed bowler from Australia. But he's more than just kind of a sideshow. He's not carny folk by any stretch on the PBA Tour. This is a hardcore athlete and a great competitor.
Oh, make no mistake about it. There were plenty of professional bowlers on the tour that knew about Jason Belmonte before he came out on the PBA Tour. And the scary part is that you see how good he is now. He only has 1 title to his credit, but his strength lies where his knowledge starts to increase. That's just going to make him that much better. So as he gets smarter, he figures out what equipment and how to throw it. He's going to be a very dangerous player out here.
Yeah. 10-pin shy of opening up with a 3-bagger. You talk about him getting smarter and smarter. Not obviously, some of that has to do with more time on the lanes and more tournaments, but also the fact of the knowledge you get, Randy, from your competitors and from your friends. And he and Michael Fagan and Bill O'Neill, who's your number 1 seed in this tournament, spend a ton of time together on the road, and you know the conversations they have. It's just like osmosis for all 3 of those guys. The knowledge they are passing on to one another. Belmo takes care of the 10 and remains clean.
Yeah, that's a great point, Robbie, and you're exactly right. It's all about knowledge from this point forward for Bill O'Neill, for Michael Fagan, for Jason Belmonte, and they've got all the physical tools. Now it's all about how to use them the right way.
Those 3 guys you just mentioned all sharing a house here in Las Vegas for this week and next. Again, the TOC in Vegas next week. Haugen having some problems.
Too soon, not pushing too long.
We saw Wes Malott with some early struggles versus Belmo, and it's being duplicated again by Haugen Jr.
Watch how early this ball starts to hook, and then it jumps right through the face. So a little more down lane reaction on the right lane from Michael Haugen Jr. He's coming in fresh. It's a bit of a disadvantage for him because he hasn't seen the lanes go through transition.
Join the most active community of bowlers on the web by friending the PBA on Facebook. Get tournament updates, view behind-the-scenes photos, and connect with the biggest stars in bowling. And you can check out Winning Wednesdays on the PBA Facebook page for your chance to win prize packs from PBA product registered companies. Simply head to PBA.com, click on the Facebook link to get started. Three frames, 3 spares for Haugen. And it looks like 4 frames and 4 spares for Haugen now.
He's lost. He went light on that lane the last time he was up on it. Now he makes the adjustment, goes high. What I see right now with the equipment he's using, that ball's checking early and not laying off down the lane.
Which means ball change.
Or he has to change his line, his alignment. He may have to move in just a little bit, soften up on the speed, give the ball time to react. But he has to make a different adjustment. His angle has to change, and he may have to change bowling balls as well.
Nothing but spares for Haugen thus far. Jason Belmonte, strike, spare. Here he is in the bottom of the 4th. A strike here would give him some nice early distance from Haugen.
No, no good.
2-4-5-8 the bucket.
Wife watching. First kind of ugly shot for Jason thus far.
Well, he leaves the bucket, and it's pretty much one way to shoot this, and that's throwing it straight and hard and trying to hit the 2-5 right in the face.
And he does just that. Now take a look at the Bear Trusted Pain Relief replay brought to you by the makers of Bear Aspirin. And here is Jason covering it up in the 4th.
Well, some players like to hook it at the bucket. I've always liked throwing it straight and hard at the bucket. Just make sure that you cover enough of the 2-pin to get the back pin, the 8-pin.
So he drops the bucket, and it's now strike, spare. The lead at 10. We begin the 5th.
The adjustment that I see that Jason Belmonte has made from the first match to this match, he's moved slightly towards the center part of the lane with the same bowling ball, and he's gotten just a pinch softer. Now, when he left the bucket on the right lane, it was too firm. You could see it. He's got to keep his speed down to get that urethane bowling ball to turn the corner.
Come on.
Ball change for Haugen, and he gets all 10 to drop.
Remember, that's what we talked about. That's what you said. Is it a ball change? It was a ball change and an alignment change. He went straighter, moved to the right, and it's a great result. This ball doesn't read the front part of the lane. Michael Haugen Jr. told us yesterday in an interview he's gotten a lot smarter out here in terms of adjusting equipment, going to the right ball at the right time.
So Haugen Jr. off his first strike of the day. We begin the 6th.
Come on. Oh, yeah.
Back-to-back jacks for Haugen.
Reminiscent of what he did at the TSC a couple years ago when he was trailing to Chris Barnes. He mounted a serious comeback throwing the last 5 out of 6 strikes to win the Tournament of Champions by 1 pin.
This comeback will be televised. Haugen Jr. down by 10, but Jason Belmonte, your 8th seed, is up in the 6th when we return to Vegas. And time now for the winning touch, brought to you by Touch of Gray. Gets rid of some gray, never all. And we flash back to last season's PBA World Championship and Tom Smallwood's improbable victory. That was his first ever PBA Tour title, and he just happened to do it at a major.
Yeah, he was machine-like that day, taking down the Wes Malott, one of the greatest players on the planet. Tom Smallwood was unfazed.
One of the many great stories that came out of the PBA last season. We are all even through 5.5. Michael Haugen stringing together his first pair of strikes to pull himself even with that man, Jason Belmonte, the native of Orange, New South Wales, Australia. This Viper oil pattern has been nasty to him, but he has really tamed it thus far today.
What a beautiful shot, Rod. And when his opponent, Michael Haugen Jr., steps up and throws a double to tie the match, Jason Belmonte answers the call with a double of his own to take a 10-pin lead. Just a gorgeous shot. Remember, his mantra is trying to overpower oil patterns. What that means is that he tends to get a little too fast at times and really wrench on it with the release point at the bottom of the swing. He's got to stay within himself and keep the speed under control. He looks real relaxed.
It's easy to look relaxed when you're finally having some success on a pattern that has been a huge nemesis for you.
Oh, without question. He looks real comfortable. Obviously, he's got a favorable ball reaction. I think one of the things about a guy like Jason Belmonte and this two-handed style is even with all that power, he's still able to go straight.
So the spare by Jason, he remains clean, and we go down the lane. Michael Haugen joining us live now. And Michael, you started with 4 spares and then back-to-back strikes. What was the change? Why the success now?
I went to a ball that gets to the fronts a little cleaner, squared up to the lane a little bit, went back to my strength, played straighter down the lane, using a little bit more ball speed, and so far so good. So these 2 shots are big here. Let's see if I can put 2 X's on the board and do what I came here to do.
Strike is a strike, and he will take it.
Yeah, but no professional wants to win like that, and Michael Haugen Jr. showed a lot of class by going over to Jason Belmonte and saying, hey, sorry about that. Nobody likes to win that way, but you know what? Hey.
There's no need to apologize. That's what happened.
He didn't mean to.
Exactly.
The ball jerked early. Maybe pulled it a couple boards and went Brooklyn, and he got a great break trip in the 6 out, but now he's got a 3-bagger and a 1-pin lead. Now let's update the arsenal. Remember, he was throwing a bank pearl. He is textured down and gone to a ball that's less aggressive, but again, that's the risk you run. Getting too firm and having it blow right through the end of the oil pattern.
Leaves the double wood just when he had seized the lead and had some momentum. So he covers that one. Takes a seat with Jason Belmonte, and the all-black pops up. Your number 8 seed has trailed for what, about 30 seconds today? And that's it. Dominated Wes Malott in match number 1. On top by 1. Here's his effort in the 8th. He can max out at a 244. Haugen just a 233. And again, problems with the 10-pin suddenly for Jason.
In 8 shots, he's thrown 7 absolutely perfect. He left the bucket in the 4th frame. He's got 4 strikes, 3 really ugly ringing 10-pins. But I love his composure. He's not getting upset. He's not going gosh, dog it, I left another 10-pin. He's staying within himself, and he's keeping his head about it.
And he's making his spares. Randy, you know I love saying this. Time to fire up the RV. She doesn't have far to go. In fact, we really don't need to fire up unless we want to get the kitchen and the TV going and the refrigerator. We'll be right back here at South Point. Live coverage tomorrow night on ESPN2 at 8:30 Eastern. And then Sunday on ESPN. And then next Saturday, January 22nd, 2:30 Eastern, ABC, the Tournament of Champions. $1 million prize fund in that one.
Cannot wait for that tournament.
I can't wait for Saturday night when you get enshrined to the Hall of Fame. Belmo, 9th. Again, the 10, and the messenger does not deliver.
Well, he didn't like that shot immediately out of his hand, and I think he's probably satisfied with just leaving a 10-pin. However, without striking there in the 9th frame, he gives Michael Haugen Jr. the opportunity to shut him out. The best Belmo can shoot now if he covers the 10 is 222. Michael Haugen Jr. can strike out 9th and 10th frame and shoot 233.
Didn't like the footing and might have gotten a break there.
Remember the last time Michael Haugen Jr. was up 7th and 8th frame. 7th frame he went Brooklyn. 8th frame he went light after throwing a 3-bagger when he made the ball change.
His only 3 strikes.
A lot can go in a player's mind trying to decipher this enigma of this oil pattern when you thought you had it, and now all of a sudden you go Brooklyn light. Let's see what adjustment he makes.
Perfect stroke. 4th strike overall. 3rd on the right lane. Lead back in the Haugen camp.
Yeah, that was just a tremendous shot. He really manned up when he had to, and he knows getting it on this right lane that if he strikes in the 9th, he's got a chance to shut out Belmonte. He pured that shot.
Come on. Yeah. 1 strike away from a shutout.
And Michael Haugen Jr. able to do what Jason Belmonte has not been able to do, and that's kick the 10 out with that shot right there. If Michael Haugen goes 9 spare, he shoots 222. We have the possibility of a tie. If he strikes on this next ball, it's over.
Again, he started this match with 4 consecutive spares. Since then, 5 strikes. That is in the face, but gets it to kick. And he moves on.
2 Brooklyn strikes for Michael Haugen Jr. and 3-4 ringing 10 pins for Jason Belmonte is the undoing. Hey, when it's your day, it's your day. Wow. Michael Haugen Jr., he'll be the first to admit that was a bad shot, pulled way left.
Lucky break, but I'll take it.
Gets the huge break trip in the 6-pin. Game over.
Tough one for Belmonte to swallow. A couple 10 pins down, and this is a different result. That's the way the pin falls.
I'm sorry. Don't worry about it. You know I didn't want to win it like that, mate.
That's how the game goes. Oh, that was ugly. It'll come back.
Ugly, but effective for Haugen. Sweeping the legs out to give him the victory. And he moves on to take on Mika Koivu-Niemi. Tomorrow we'll talk about that when we return to Vegas. The PBA World Championship is brought to you by Touch of Gray. Gets rid of some gray, never all. By the USBC and its 2 million members. To find out more about USBC, log on to bowl.com today. By the makers of One A Day Men's 50+ Advantage, the multivitamin with more of what matters. And by Barbazol. Start your day with Barbazol Shaving Cream, America's leader for a close, comfortable shave. We welcome you back to Vegas. Don't miss the PokerStars.net Caribbean Adventure main event live on ESPN2 and ESPN3.com. For the first time, Randy, at a major poker tournament, they will reveal players' hole cards, which apparently is a big thing. I don't know much about poker, but it sounds groundbreaking.
Yeah, the players can see everybody's hole cards, man. That changes everything.
Oh, all right, well, good. Well, I'm looking forward to watching that Saturday, Sunday. Time now, Randall, for the Geico Championship recap.
Well, our first match, Jason Belmonte took down the big nasty 222, 186, throwing that urethane ball nice and straight and throwing some beautiful shots. Then in the next match against Michael Haugen Jr., Michael Haugen Jr. makes a huge adjustment, bowling ball and line. Throws a 3-bagger, 5th, 6th, and 7th, capitalizes on the biggest break of the tournament for him right there, going Brooklyn to shut out Jason Belmonte.
So the PBA World Championship field is down to 6. Your 6th seed moves on with the 13-pin victory, and he's standing by downstairs with Kimberly.
Well, Michael, you got 2 lucky breaks today, getting 2 Brooklyns. You can't count on that for tomorrow. What is your mindset moving forward?
Obviously, to make better shots, first and foremost. I was fortunate today. My opponent bowled a better game, and I was lucky to carry the 2 Brooklyns, and that's the game sometimes. And it's unfortunate he did bowl a better game, but I have to get myself ready for tomorrow, and that's all I can do. Just try and make better shots tomorrow when I'm in the same situation. So.
Well, congratulations on moving up the step ladder for tomorrow's live telecast.
And he will take on Mika Koivuniemi, your number 5 seed. Coverage begins with live at the PBA World Championship at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN2. Our coverage going all the way up to the 10 o'clock hour on the East Coast. Jason Belmonte taking care of Wes Malott, but not enough in his arsenal to take down Michael Haugen Jr., who lives to bowl another day. When we return to Las Vegas, it'll be tomorrow night. Day 2 of 3 of our coverage of the PBA World Championship. Belmo looked to be in good shape through much of match number 2, but then the 10-pin came to bite him, and Michael Haugen Jr. with some lucky breaks advances. Darian J standing by in the ESPN Sports Center studios. For Kimberly, Randy, and our entire crew, I'm Rob Stone. Thanks for watching from Vegas. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night on ESPN2 at 8:30 Eastern.